Hello students, today I am going to continue your next video where I will explain from here. So let us begin. Derry. They tell me. So here Derry said that his family forced him to do things in their way. And here in this line, in this statement, Derry wanted to tell this. Mr. Lamb, do you have to agree? Here, Mr. Lamb said that it was Derry's wish to agree with them or not. Derry, I don't know what I want. I want something no one else has got or ever will have. Something just mine, like this garden. I don't know what it is. So, Derry was confused about what he wanted and something that was only his, and no one had it. Like the garden. Mr. Lamb, you could find out. Here, Mr. Lamb said that he could find out what he wanted. Derry, how? So, here, Derry arises a question how he could find out. Mr. Lamb, waiting, watching, listening, sitting here or going there, I will have to see to the beach. So, Mr. Lamb told him to wait, watch, and listen. He added that he had to see the beach daily. Those other people who come here, do they talk to you, ask you things? So there, here Derry inquired of that. Did the other visitors talk to Mr. Lamb? Mr. Lamb. Some do, some don't. I ask them. I like to learn. Then Derry. I don't believe in them. I don't think anybody ever comes. You are here all by yourself and miserable, and no one would know if you were alive or dead, and nobody cares. So, Derry, as Mr. Lamb replied that some did while some did not, then Derry said that he didn't believe that someone ever visited the place. Mr. Lamb lived alone all by himself. No one cared for him. Mr. Lamb said that Derry could think as he pleased. Mr. Lamb, you think what you please. Derry. Alright, then tell me some of their names. Mr. Lamb, what are names? Tom, Dick, or Harry? Getting up, I'm off down to the beach. Derry, I think you are daft, crazy. Mr. Lamb, that's a good excuse. Mr. Lamb lived alone by himself, Derry said to him, and he also added that no one cared for him. Then Mr. Lamb said that Derry could think as he pleased. Derry asked him the names of some of the visitors. Then Mr. Lamb said that names were nothing. They could be like Tom, Dick, or Harry. Here, Tom, Dick, or Harry means are, gare, nathu, khare. Everything else that is not very important. So here, Mr. Lamb just wanted to say this. Derry, what for? You don't talk sense. Mr. Lamb, good excuse not to come back. And you have got a burned up face. And that's other people's excuse. You are like the others, Derry said here. You like to say things like that. If you don't feel sorry for my face, you are fighting of it. And if you are not fighting, You think I'm ugly as a devil? I'm a devil, don't you? Shouts. Mr. Lamb doesn't reply. He has gone to his beach. So Derry said that perhaps Mr. Lamb was mentally challenged. Mr. Lamb said that it was a good excuse for Derry, but Derry said that Mr. Lamb didn't talk sense and that's why he said so. Mr. Lamb repeated that it was a good excuse for not returning to the garden. Then Derry said that Mr. Lamb didn't talk sense and that's why he said so. Derry, quietly. No, you don't. I like it here. Poch. Derry gets up and shouts, I'm going, but I will come back. You see, you wait. I can run. I haven't got a thin leg. I will back. Derry runs up silence. The sounds of the garden again. Derry said Mr. Lamb was like other people. If he was not sorry that his face was burned, then maybe he was scared of it. If not that, then maybe he thought that Derry was as ugly as a devil. And he added that he was a devil. Then Derry shouted. Mr. Lamb didn't reply. He had gone to see the beach. Derry became calm and said that Mr. Lamb didn't think him to be a devil. He liked to be in the garden. Derry got up and shouted that he was leaving and that he would return to see him. He didn't have a tin leg, could run and would be back soon. Then Derry run off. Sorry. Then Derry run off. The place was silent with the sounds of the creatures of the garden. Mr. Lamb talked to the bees that they saw all that happened. They all knew that no one ever returned to the garden. So, as their conversation comes to an end, to withdraw back into themselves slightly, both of them insecure about the sense of connections they have found with each other. There is a statement about Lamb's loneliness while cruel is also potentially true. There's no evidence that Lamb actually has lots of friends or that anyone comes to visit him. Lamb again turns to nature and his methodical, contemplative work after potentially upsetting exchange. Mr. Lamb, there, my dears, that's you seen to. We all know. I will come back. They never do, though. Not them, never do come back. The garden was his fate. However, Derry runs off from that place, and Mr. Lamb to himself talked to himself and said that there is someone when they visited to his garden, but when they return, but when they go back, they didn't return there. So this was some imagination which popped up into the mind of Mr. Lamb. Here, scene 2 has started. Derry's house. It was the scene of Derry's house. Mother. You think I don't know about him? You think I haven't heard things? Here, mother asked Derry that she knows everything. She knows about Mr. Lamb, and it was a bad excuse to give that she didn't know about Mr. Lamb. Derry, you shouldn't believe all you hear. Here, Derry clarified that his mother shouldn't believe what she is listening about Mr. Lamb from others people. Mother, been told, warned, we have not lived here 3 months, but I know what there is to know, and you are not to go back there. So as you know that this is the second scene and it is the conversation between Derry and his mother. So she had already heard about Mr. Lamb and Derry told her not to believe what others said, but she warned him that she knew what was required to be known and about any person and therefore asked him not to go back. Derry, what are you afraid of? What do you think he is? An old man with a tin leg and he lives in a huge house without curtains and has a garden. And I want to be there and sit and listen to things. Listen and look. So Derry asked her reason of her fear, and he told at the same time that Mr. Lamb was just an old man with a thin leg and had a big house without curtains and the garden. And he said that he wanted to go back and listen to things. Mother, listen to what? Mother arises a question what he wanted to listen. Then Derry beat singing, him talking. So Derry here told that he wanted to listen beat singing, he wanted to talk with Mr. Lamb. Mother, and what's he got to say to you? Then mother here arises another question that and what he had points to talk with you. Derry, things that matter, things nobody else has ever said, things I want to think about. So he replied that he wanted to hear beat singing and wanted to listen to what Mr. Lamb said, but she didn't find it suitable, and so she told him to stay at home and think about what he wanted to do. So, mother, then you stay here and uh, do your thinking. You are best off here. Derry, I hate here, but Derry said that he hated that places. Mother, you can't help the things you say. I forgive you. It's bound to make you feel bad things and say them. I don't blame you. Derry said that he had to return. Derry said that he hated to remain at home. Then his mother excused him for speaking wrong because he felt bad and so spoke that way. Derry, it's got nothing to do with my face and what I look like. I don't care about that, and it isn't important. It's what I think and feel and what I wanted to see and find out and hear. And I am going back there. Well, to help him with the crab apples and only to look at things and listen, but I am going. Derry said that it had nothing to do with his face. The important thing was how he thought and what he saw or heard. He announced that he would go back into the garden to help Mr. Lamb with the crab apples. Mother, you will stop here, but his mother just said him to stop here. Derry, oh no, no, because because if I don't go back there, I will never go anywhere in this world again. The door slams, Derry runs panting, and I want the world, and I want the world, I want it, I want it. The sound of his panting fades. Scene 3. This is the scene 3. Mr. Lamb's garden. Garden sounds the noise of a branch shifting, apples thumping down, the branch shifting again. Mr. Lamb. Steady, that's got it. That is more apple fall, and again, that's it, and a crack, a crash, a leather falls back, Mr. Lamb with it. A thump, the branch swishes back, cracks, then silence. Larry opens the garden gate, still panting. The third scene is Mr. Lamb's garden. There was the sound of branches. Mr. Lamb was talking to himself while he was plucking the apples. Suddenly, a harsh sound of the cracking wood was heard, and the ladder fell on the ground. Mr. Lamb fell too. Derry, you see, I came back. You said I wouldn't, and they said, but I came back. I wanted. Mr. Lamb, Mr. You have? He runs through the grass, stop, kneels. Mr. Lamb, it's all right, you fail. I am here. Mr. Lamb, it's all right. Silence. I came back. Lemmy Lamb. I did. Come back. Derry begins to weep. This is the end scene of this story. So, Derry opened the gate. He was still breathing rapidly and declared to Mr. Lamb that he had returned. That he had returned. He looked at him and found him lying on the ground. He went near him and tried to talk to him, but no one replied. Derry kept on calling him by his name and suddenly started crying. He did so because he realized that Mr. Lamb was dead. So, if we analyze this scene, then we think that this is the hypothetical situation that Derry described earlier. Mr. Lamb could fall off his ladder, and if he were on his own, no one would find him and help him. The question now is whether or not Lamb really is on his own if Derry will come back. It's not stated whether or not Mr. Lamb has survived his fall, but either way, this is a tragic finale to the play. Both characters found a brief moment of connection with each other, but now they are separated again by an accident. Lamb's fall, and so society's restriction as Derry's mother. It's also important that Derry calls Lamb Lemmy Lamb in this poignant moment, using the name that others used to taunt the old man as a term of endearment. This signals a shift in Derry's perspective on disability, and hopefully, in his own self esteem, he starts to recognize that he can both have a burned face and be a valuable and worthwhile human being, and can even embrace his disability as part of himself. So students, we have just completed our last video. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and if you have any question, you can arise in the section box, and have a nice day.